Hi everyone, this is my COVID haircut bin, and as you can see I've done a pretty thorough harvest of it. The hair is still uneaten, but it's getting closer. There's less of it. What I've decided to do is I just harvested half this bin, and I've been working on this for a few weeks, readying this half for harvest. And so what I thought I would do is just spread out the castings that contain, oh, there's a big clump of hair, that contain the hair and the residual cocoons. I didn't touch this, and so I've been leaving the hair bit alone while I readied the other part of the bin for harvest. And so I'm just going to put that to make a nice layer on the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is a bit of an experiment, and I'm going to put our neighbor with a blower. I'm going to put a stack. I think that's too many. Maybe I'll just make a stack of, what was that, three egg cartons in here. And what I'm going to do is I keep in the house a bin of bedding that I prepared probably a couple of weeks ago now, that has been aging with some castings in it, and the liquid that Anne describes in Plant Obsessed. And I'm trying this by putting some of that bedding in here, but obviously this is a lot of bedding. But I need something else to fill in the volume. And so one of the things I have is I have a worm bin in the house that, similarly, I call it my Cinderella bin because it gets everything that's mopped up off the floor and everything that's left over. And so I'm going to take a couple handfuls of the Cinderella bin and just put it around the edges here. And then I'm going to feed in these top of the egg crates. I've got some food ready to go. And then I'm going to put a layer of the prepared bedding on top. And right now what I have over here is I've been training my worms. Oops, and I even had a bait cup going here to get the worms on this side as much as I could. So the worms are over here, and they are happy in their, the food and the goodies that I've been leaving them for them over the last few weeks as I readied this bin for harvest. And there they are. And so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take out the bait cup, empty out its contents as well, probably into the egg crates, and just merge these two as even as I can on the top, so that from the worm's perspective, it's going to be one bin all the way across. And I will, finish with this layer of cardboard that right now is all crumpled up, because obviously I was leaving this half uncovered to encourage the worms to vacate the area. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put the worm bin contents that I have from inside the house, that is probably about a month and a half. It's had worms living in it. Let me just get a handful of that now. Sorry about the leaf blower. I'll just get a handful of it now so you can see what I'm thinking. Oops, we brought it from outside to be with me, close to me. And so the worms have been working in this bin for, like I said, about a month and a half. And I'm just going to grab a few handfuls of it. There might be worms, there might be cocoons, there might even be food. So here's a handful of my worm bin from inside. I had these cardboard tubes in there for aeration, and I might actually save that for my indoor worm bin. I might actually put that back in my indoor bin because it's slowly getting used, but it creates nice space. So there are worms through here. There are, like I said, this is my Cinderella bin, so it's the place where we put, you know, plant clippings when I, oh, and there's a worm. When I clip my house plants, it's a place I put my floor sweepings, paper towels that we use, things like that. But importantly, this bedding has been worked over by the worms for at least a month and a half. And so there's some floor sweepings or maybe some dryer lint, I'm not sure. So I'm just going to do that to kind of get these side edges that the egg carton obviously can't go all the way to the edge, but it actually is a pretty good fit. I'm quite impressed. Maybe I'll get one more handful. So I want to be able to fill the inside with bedding, or I'm sorry, with food and then bedding. So there's a flower stalk, I think that's from a sweet pea. So I'm going to actually take the camera from my husband, and he's going to run and get the food that I put out on the driveway. I know it won't be thawed because I just took it out about 20 minutes ago, and it's a warm day. It's actually kind of a hot day, but it's not going to be thawed. Normally I would let a bin rest after I fed it, but this is an established bin. It has had worms going in it since, let's see, the date says February 26th. So the food today, we've been juicing some celery. So this looks like it's celery and some tea leaves and my grit, and it's still frozen. I don't even think I can, oh, I can break it into chunks. That'll help somewhat. No, that's about the smallest chunk I can get off that one. So what I'm hoping is the juice from this thawing food will saturate those egg cartons. And I know I haven't put anything on this side. Maybe I should put something on this side so that the water, you know, water will find its way. It will find its way across all the levels. So I'll come out and check the moisture level tomorrow, but this bedding is you know, the right moisture, and this bedding actually probably is a little too moist. So there's lots of moisture in this bin, even though I was leaving this part uncovered, open to the air. So now I'm just going to use my seasoned bedding mix. Oh, and here we have a little tiny one trying to escape. Maybe I'll grab a piece of cardboard, piece of egg carton. Come on. Come on. Get him right off. There, it's now on the egg carton. Or he might even be on me. I'll just check, no other escapees. All right, so obviously didn't like me messing around with them. So now I'm going to grab some of my seasoned bedding and put a few handfuls of that in. Quite a few handfuls actually, to cover this entire area. And this bedding also has good moisture content. I tried to squeeze out a drop. Maybe I didn't pick it from the most moist area of the bin, but it's very, very close to perfect moisture levels. I don't have a moisture meter, so I just gauge by how it feels, with which I have MS, so my hands don't necessarily feel the same as other people's, but I can judge You can judge moisture, which is good. So this bedding has, well, if you go on to Plant Obsessed, you can find the recipe, and I pretty much followed the recipe exactly. For grit, I used a combination of eggshells and green sand, and the other change was one that Anne said you could make, so I didn't have any molasses, so I used a few tablespoons of honey in the, oh, I'm sorry, there's food I can put right on this side right there in my bake cup, and probably buy me some worms as well. Let's see what happened there. There we go. So the bake cup aside, so the bake cup was an avocado, and actually doesn't look like a lot of worms found it. Well, it must have been because I fed on the other side as well. So anyway, that's moist food, so that egg crate will definitely get moist, and it looks like I have to fill in a bit of a hole. So what I'm going to do is just move aside the cardboard for now while I smooth out this bin. It's looking fairly level. No, I can still feel the lip there. Oh, there's a worm. Which way do you want to go, fella? Which way? You've got the new home. Here, I'll put you in the old home for now. That one actually looks like a blue worm. Definitely I've got some more active worms that I got these worms from locally, and so, you know, I expect there's a mix of worms, but I haven't had any problems with worms escaping these towers, except for one period when we had 3 or 4 days of them, you know, about 5 or 6 of them trying to escape, or escaping every night, and unfortunately not making it. And so, you know, I managed to correct that problem, and we haven't had any escapees or no travelers ever since. So this cardboard has been in here a long time. It's well seasoned. So, you know, I can just, it's obviously a combination of egg crates. There's a coffee filter. So there's a combination of things on the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread it out. I'm sure this bedding will sink down a little bit as the worms get into it. Anyway, so that's my technique for just harvesting half of a Worm Café, one of the bin systems, and I readied it for harvest by feeding heavily on this side. So let me just peel back and you can see the worms. So the worms are mostly on this side. I always feed in egg crates, so you know they have been eating both the egg crates as well as the food that I've been giving them, and they're very happy in there. And so now they will find the egg crates on the other side, and I'm following Marty's gardening advice about giving the worms a place to habitate with multiple levels. It's like a multi-story condo. And so the worms hopefully will find the egg crates that I've buried here, and they will move in and start crawling all through the levels as the juices permeate through them. Anyway, that's it for now, everyone. Thanks so much for watching.